It's time again for Talking Trade, sponsored by MMAC's World Trade Association and Michael Best Strategies.
Welcome to Talking Trade. I'm Sandi Siegel, president of MEJ.
And I'm Ken Wasylik, Managing Director of EM Wasylik and Associates, a international business development company. Today, we're very pleased to have on our guest as our guest, Bob Bishop, the president of the Livestock Exporters Association and CEO of AgTrade USA, a worldwide supplier of ag products. So thank you, Bob, for joining us on Talking Trade.
Well, thank you, Sandi and Ken.
You're welcome.
And I'm just so excited to be here. I always get very excited about telling the story of the U.S. livestock export industry. And our herds have been bred over generations of top genetics. And so we have a product that we're really proud of and really excited to take throughout the world.
Well, you're right. Agriculture and livestock in particular is a major economic sector in the United States. A lot of people don't really realize this, but it is. So can you give us a little overview of the current status of the livestock industry here in the US and globally outside the US?
Sure. Right now, worldwide, the number of livestock is down. We're just into a low cycle. And so the price is up. So it gives us a few challenges for exporting. Then, as you probably have heard, we have a disease, high path avian influenza, bird flu. 3 countries in the world have shut off U.S. cattle exports due to bird flu. It really is an insignificant disease because it's only transmitted through lactating animals, and we don't export lactating animals. All we export are heifers and bred heifers, so it doesn't affect them. But the main country we're concerned about right now is Turkey. They've cut us off because of it, and we have a Turkish delegation coming over in early October, and we're going to take them to the labs, take them to some dairies, take them on some beef farms, and show them that, bird flu really doesn't affect the type of cattle that we export. And we figured it came in from migrating birds, and that was last year. The theory is that probably the disease is self-limited and we won't see much of it again this year. So that's the status of the export business worldwide right now. That's the big issue that we're dealing with.
Challenges. I suspect most people don't even realize what a major commodity farm animals are, not worldwide, and in particular for Wisconsin. What are some of the major export markets that as Americans we're shipping to? I know you just mentioned some of the ones where there's restrictions now. And is it mostly cattle, or some other of the dairy animals and so forth? And why American cattle? I know all my European friends love coming here and going out for steak and other things, but tell us what makes American cattle unique, special, sought after, and what are our major markets?
Well, it's all about genetics and management. We have spent decades through artificial insemination, embryo transfer, and all the science that goes behind creating the top genomic cattle in the world. So we have them here, and the rest of the world wants them. When I started in the business back in 1979, I shouldn't tell you that, we were shipping dairy cattle to Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, and they were all being flown by air. Then in the 90s, we started shipping by ocean. We need at least 2,500 to 3,000 head to load a ship to make it viable. So the largest shipment we ever did was 6,000 head, where a number of exporters pulled the resources and had a really big ship. And so today we ship cattle out of Wilmington, Delaware, Galveston, Texas, and Olympia, Washington are the 3 major ports in the U.S. And they go to Vietnam, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, One of the challenges with shipping is the transportation. And
Yes.
so I just mentioned the stands. Traditionally, we ship them to Russia and then overland into the stand countries. Well, that doesn't work right now. So then we decided, all right, let's see if we can ship them by air into Kazakhstan. And that is a possibility, but it runs the price of the cattle up. So
Yes.
we're looking at building a farm in Turkey to ship them by water to Turkey and then overland into the stands.
Okay.
The issue right now is what I mentioned earlier is HPAI, bird flu. Turkey's the major country that shut us off, but hopefully that will be lifted within the next couple months.
And I am a freight forwarder, so I appreciate some of the transportation challenges of moving cattle and some of the other challenges on the regulation side, permits and, all the government agencies and licensing you need and so forth and moving ag products. But, again, you mentioned a few of those, but how are you, overcoming some of these challenges? And are there other challenges with some of the other trade wars that we're having and increased regulations worldwide on, food and product safety, and how are you navigating all that as an industry?
Okay, we're pretty much shut out of the EU
Okay.
because they have so many regulations. We just can't make that work.
Yeah.
We used to ship a lot of cattle to China, and then about 20 years ago, China shut us off through it was political, but took on the face of their issue, cattle health certificates. And so we ship a huge number of pigs to China. Most of those come out of O'Hare and go by air. But as far as cattle, we don't ship to China anymore. We have a very, very close relationship with USDA APHIS, that's the Animal Plant Health Inspection Service. And we work with them nearly on a daily basis to keep these markets open and to open new markets. And it's a fantastic relationship that the livestock exporters have with our partners at APHIS. So right now, I mentioned to you before we went on that I'm in Chicago. I'm waiting for a delegation from Algeria that's coming over on a State Department trip. And then we'll meet with our APHIS reps this evening and have dinner. Then tomorrow we will take them to O'Hare, show them how we load cattle on planes. We'll take them to a quarantine center, show them how we handle the animals in quarantine. Then we'll take them to a huge award-winning dairy up in Wisconsin, show them the U.S. dairies, and then they'll be coming to the World Dairy Expo in Madison.
Sounds fabulous. And I think our friends at APHIS and FDA appreciate that if they can help you, it's a win for all of us in the US and help promote the export and work with you, obviously. So that's great to hear.
And that's what I continually tell the people at APHIS, that our relationship is so good because they're facilitators, not so much as regulators. That's not to say that they don't make us hold to the regulations.
That's right.
But they want to facilitate trade. And we have such a good relationship. For the last 10 years, we have had our annual meeting at APHIS headquarters in Riverdale, Maryland. And we bring the experts in through Zoom, or the ones that are on site come in, and we go over all the issues that we've seen. They tell us, what they would like us to do to make their jobs easier. And it's a fantastic relationship we have with them.
It's a partnership, which is what it should be. That's terrific.
And people don't say that about government agencies that much.
Not often.
Not often.
Not in my world.
Especially not in an election year. That's for sure.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's kind of interesting about the facility at O'Hare. I fly out of O'Hare often. I had no idea that they had a livestock area, barns or whatever in there. Is it on site or is it off a site?
Yeah, what they do, for instance, they ship mostly pigs out of O'Hare, but we ship everything out of there, cattle, horses, small ruminants. So what they'll do is they have a facility that's within half an hour of the airport where the cattle will be held in quarantine, or the animals will be held in quarantine. Then they truck them into the airport and they put them into wooden crates that then go on a 747 And so they crate the animals at the airport, they load them onto the plane and fly them out.
Wow, pretty amazing. Talk about valuable live cargo,
Yeah.
as opposed
There's-
to refrigerated fresh fruits that is,
Yeah.
perishable as well.
There's also a similar facility at JFK called the ARC. They picked a really neat name for it. And if you ever wanted to Google that, they are top shelf. They do a lot of high value animals like $1 million racehorses, and breeding animals through there.
Yeah.
And there's
Wait.
limited ports where you can bring in live animals. I know,
Right.
from experience, you can't do it through every port. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fortunate Chicago is one of them.
So, Bob, you mentioned the World Dairy Expo. That's in the beginning of October, and you talked about this delegation from Algeria. What's the presence besides hosting delegations? What's the presence of the livestock?
And all of the best cattle, the best dairy cattle in the world are at the World Dairy Expo. I mean, the cattle, to be there at that show, you've had to win a number of regional shows, local shows, regional shows. So you're going to see the best of the best. And you're also going to see the best equipment and the best management consultants and everybody, the feed companies, mineral companies, everybody is there, the milking parlor manufacturers. So everything to do with dairy is on display at the World Dairy Expo. And the Livestock Exporters Association sponsors the International Lounge. So the international visitors have a place where they can go and meet and have business discussions. In addition, we are sponsoring, along with the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, a training seminar for people from all over the world on how to purchase, ship, and export animals. So we will go through the whole process with anyone that's interested in buying U.S. cattle. This is what we need to do. This is how long it takes. These are the regulations we need. We're even having people come in from the Import-Export Bank. This is how we finance the shipment. So we've done that for several years now, and it's a very popular seminar at the World Dairy Expo.
Sounds fascinating.
Oh, that is fascinating. I'm listening to all of your upcoming field trips and and finding myself really wanting to go on some of these little tours. So amazing work you do, which apparently has been your passion for many years. Really interesting hearing about all of that. So good luck on all of these visitors and the upcoming Dairy Expo. Really a pleasure having you on the show. This has been Talking Trade with Robert Bishop of AgTrade USA.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you
Bob.
for having me, and I'm available anytime you need me.
Yeah, thanks,
Right.
Bob.
You've been listening to Talking Trade, sponsored by MMAC's World Trade Association and Michael Best Strategies.